everyone, it's Shell from Scrap Secrets and welcome back to my channel. Today's day 9 in the 2023 Countdown to Christmas card series, and the theme is embossing. So we're going to do dry and heat embossing. I did 2 panels because I actually messed the first one up. But we're going to start off with a piece of cardstock that measures 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inches. I'm going to go around all of the sides with some Distress Oxide in black soot. I saw Jessica Frost Ballas do this on Honeybee's channel, and I have only used 1 or 2 other 3D embossing folders, so I took some of her techniques from this. So one of the things she did was she went around the edges of the cardstock with some black soot, and it made a big difference. And then I'm going to go in with a little bit of Rustic Wilderness on the cardstock and also in the embossing folder. So I'm taking the top of the embossing folder and just putting ink all over it. Then I'm going to spritz my paper. One of the things that she said was that it's best to do this with paper that is a little bit wet so you don't get any cracking. I wet this one a little bit too much. You'll see the second one comes out better. I'm going to place it in there and the paper moves because it's still wet. So I'll go ahead and adjust it, and then that's when I get the ink all over my hands. So I was a little bit of a mess. I ran it through my die cutting machine and look at how awesome that came out. I love it. Look at the different colors and all that texture. You can really see the 3D embossing. I'm then going to take some, I believe this is Evergreen Bough Distress Oxide, and I'm going to go over and hit the highlights of the trees. So I'm going to give it some lighter areas. You can do this with all different colors of Distress Oxide, Distress ink, whatever you want to use. And I just think it highlights it so pretty. So here's the second panel. I'm going to do the same exact thing, go around all the edges with some black soot, and then do some Rustic Wilderness. So while you're watching me do this, I thought I would tell you a little bit about this series. If you guys are new to the series, welcome. I will link the intro video in the description box below, so you can go over and check that out. I am doing this with Marie from Marie's Vermont Creations, and we have some giveaways, so you want to make sure you check out the intro video on my channel and then head over to Marie's to check out hers as well. You'll have all the rules over there for the giveaways. I will also be doing 2 additional giveaways if I get to 2 milestones. One is 700, and as of this recording, I am 1 away from it, so it looks like I will be doing another one. And then if I get to 750 during this one, I will do another giveaway. Okay, so back to the card. I'm going to be using pine needles on the inside, and maybe that's what I used before. I can't remember. I'm going to go ahead. I sprayed that, and so it definitely came out a lot better this time. It wasn't as wet, and look at that dimension. I love these 3D embossing folders. I am absolutely in love with. These are from Honeybee Stamps, and it's called Into the Woods. So you can see the 2 different ones there. I tried a technique with the first one that we did. There was a white spray in the Hero Arts. I tried using that, and it just was a hot mess. So we're actually going to be doing some heat embossing with this sentiment that looks like a tree, because I was trying to figure out what to go on top of this, but I thought I would put some of the embossing inks, which is just a clear sticky ink over top of the sentiment, and then sprinkle on some gold embossing powder. And this is just one from Martha Stewart. It's very old. It's got to be 10 years old. So I sprinkle that over top of it and then wipe off or shake off any of the excess embossing powder. I'll heat up my tool gun off on the side and then heat it up. I wasn't sure how this is going to work because I've only done heat embossing on wood a couple of times. I did it on some wood round ornaments, and I just had to be really careful not to burn the wood. So I was just trying to go over this pretty quickly, and I apologize. My phone had to be plugged in, and I didn't have another outlet, so I had to take one of the lights away, so the light might get kind of bad here. But I love the way in person you can really see it change from that matte look to that really shiny finish. That you can really see it in person. I'm not sure how much the camera picks up here. I'm then using my Barely Arts glue to glue on the back and place it down. Now I could have used tape for this, but this actually did adhere really, really well to the card front. It is pretty heavy, and I was concerned about that because the paper's weakened a little bit from going through the embossing folder and being wet and all of the ink, but it really, really held up, and I love the way that it looked. I will put it onto a black card base that measures 4¼ by 5½ inches, and it looks like the paper shrunk just a tiny bit on the sides because, and I didn't cut it down. It was 4¼ by 5½ inches, but there are 2 little areas on the side that you can see the black cardstock through, which doesn't bother me at all. And that's the card for today. We did embossing 2 different ways, the 3D embossing folder and the heat embossing on the sentiment. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have comments or questions, please feel free to leave them below, and I'll see you again real soon for another video. Bye!